talk also in the book about kind of recovering a communal life. How do we help recover a communal life when the prevalent model, especially where I'm at right now, is attractional in nature? How do we help change that narrative? And not only is it attractional, but everyone's isolated. Everyone's in their home on their computers, on their phones. How do we help bring that back into the public square or just public life, excuse me?
Yeah. Look, I think 20 or 30 years ago in the, I guess in some of the young, restless, reformed crew, they were trying to reach that crowd that was, as Driscoll would have said, playing video games in their basements. But there's more going on than that, right? There's a fractured nature that technology will bring. There's a suburban life that has you scattered in lots of different directions. And I don't think it's going to come about easily. I don't think you're going to find... Part of what I say and what I write is just turning up is half the gig, right? And when I met people when I was pastoring who'd been to 5 different churches in the last 10 years, and their kids, their teenage kids, were in tow with them for the 5th time, with dread in their faces, having to meet a new bunch of young people who they don't know, I'm going, you are setting your family up for a fall. And it's staying somewhere long enough and saying, you know what? See, I talk about how the bad life, the deep, progressive, crazy stuff about anthropology will take some people away from Jesus. But the thing most likely to take us away from Jesus is a good life, right? It's wealth, it's the lure of the other things, it's a party on Sunday that means we can't go to church, and next week we've got to go to grandma's, and maybe we'll get back to the 10 o'clock service instead of the 6 o'clock week after. And we're thinning out our communal life. And you can go ninja on it and do deep house church, and that burned a lot of people off. I'm saying that pastors need to think of ways to say, how can we even use the technology we've got to keep people who are disparate and work 50 or miles away from someone and then turn up to church on the Sunday? How do you do community together? You can use technology to do it. But I'm also saying if you could do 2 things a week at church, if it was stripped back, what would you do? You do church together on Sunday every week, and you get together with other Christians, whether they're single, same-sex attracted, divorced, married, whatever, young, old, and have a meal with people who you normally wouldn't eat together outside of the fact that you're Christian, and just share life together and pray. And that would be, if you were only allowed to do 2 things, that'd be enough. And somehow we've added all this other stuff that keeps us running at the same speed as the secular culture. It's no wonder a secular person doesn't want to become a Christian. They're busy enough, and we're going, hey, we can make you busier. How about that? They go, I don't want that. Some people, it's just too much. We're running at a pace we can't afford.